Dynamic or traditional strength training, the movement thing, and then isometric or static or holding. These are kind of pros and cons. I use both of these. I'm not saying one's right or wrong, but you should have some scientific reasoning behind what you're doing. And hopefully this will give you some light of, maybe I should be doing this. I use different techniques for different people depending on their special needs and kind of where they're at or what they have going on. So dynamic strength is the best tool to create size. If you want to get big, it creates hypertrophy and builds big muscles. Now the downside of that is we have this huge increase in inflammation. Okay, so kind of a scale or balancing of which one do I want. Most younger people don't really care about inflammation. Their body recovers pretty fast, so it's no big deal. Isometric strength, it works on joint stability and joint health, and it's pretty low on the inflammation side. So me personally, I've actually been able to lower my blood pressure by doing isometric training for long periods of time. Both modalities or types increase strength. They also are great stimuluses to your nervous system and muscle system. The difference between dynamic is you have joint movement, and the isometric, you don't have the joints moving. So you're going to put a lot of reps on the joint versus the isometric, you're not going to have a lot of reps or movement. Okay, so you got one rep going into the exercise. So again, joint health wise, isometrics might be a little bit less evasive or less damaging than dynamic, but again, yields different results. When we do dynamic or we do movement type of strength, you have a lot of compensations. If your body cannot get a muscle to work or help out, it will figure out another way for your body to do something, and you'll be able to accomplish the goal. When you do isometric type of training, your body just backs off on the pressure or pushes less. So you have this self-control or self-regulation that kind of down-regulates or applies less force. When you do dynamic movements, it's sub-max effort. So if you can move it, then it's not your max effort. With isometrics, you can do potential max efforts. So obviously something doesn't move, so you can push 100+%. It's not going to move. The reason dynamic exercise has been so influential over the years is because they have data and they can recreate things. So if you have 15 pounds on a bicep curl, oh yeah, well I do 15 pounds, I'll grab a 15-pound dumbbell and I'll do curls. With isometrics, it's hard. How much force are you applying? How do you recreate that? Am I doing the same pressure I was last week or 6 months ago? Am I doing more? There's not a real good gauge on that. Okay, so again, the body moves with dynamic, the body holds with isometric. With dynamic strength, you have a little bit less time under tension. So if you were to do 10 reps, you would crank out maybe 10 seconds of stress on your nervous system, ligaments, muscle systems. With isometrics, if you do a 30-second hold, now you got 3 times the amount of time under tension. So something to consider. I have found with dynamic or traditional strength training, my soreness and pain increases or goes up, again, because of the inflammation. And with isometric, there's less soreness, less pain, and I can push myself harder, daily, weekly. And then finally, the dynamic strength I've found is less sustainable. We get injured, we have problems, and it wears our joints out. So it's not as good of a long-term solution. The isometrics are more sustainable. We can go pretty intensely. We don't have inflammation, so we recover faster, and it's something that you can do at any age, no matter kind of what your ability or level of strength is.